Hello again. If you're following along, this should be the last video in this series. We're basically taking an HTML free template and converting it to WordPress using dynamic content. Like the whole menu itself is dynamic in this theme. It's a single page design, and what we've done is made everything that could be altered by the user actually updatable if they wanted to in the end. This video we are going to finish out the footer on our design. As you notice on the HTML version, it's a dark background and it's got these kind of widgetized areas going on. So let's go ahead and see how that file looks in our other HTML project. I think I might have closed it. No, I didn't. Here it is. So let's grab the basic content there and open up our footer. I'm actually, like we did the header, if you've been following along, we created a custom header. Assuming you have other pages on this site that you might add down the line, you can just use the regular footer file if you want. I like to create custom ones just to be able to call upon them whenever needed. So like on our header itself, I created a custom one called header-home php.php, and I'm able to import it this way. So we're going to do the same on this one. So footer home, and essentially this is what we're working with. So here's the design. It's static. We need to make these areas updatable. I already know I don't plan to use these two in this theme, so I'm going to keep as is. If you remember back in our actual header, we made some global fields that we can hopefully make use of here. So I'm going to try to grab those and add them to our footer and see if we can just add those links this way to save some time and headache, all that. So let's try to just do PHP echo Twitter. Same for Facebook. Obviously change the variable. Okay, let's see if that works. It does. Okay, cool. If you look in the bottom left of that browser, it's showing the web crunch links. Right on. I also just noticed that our short code is not showing up for the form. Let me see what's up with that. Maybe it's not cached. What happened was I took the footer function, created my own custom one, but I forgot to include a huge part of WordPress that's required, which is the WP footer call. So if you go back to the actual footer.php file, grab this little line here. This is your baby. This is what you need, and add this at the bottom. We'll also need to add the body and HTML closing tag. And then I'm also going to add this div content container, put it at the very top, and voila. Wow, that was throwing me for a loop, and it's just because I got too far ahead of myself. So always make sure these types of functions are in that theme, otherwise stuff just breaks. Like this is responsible for loading all of the JavaScript available to us inside WordPress, so super important. Okay, sorry for that giant segue. Let's go into adding these areas. What I'm going to do for that is create a new area inside our theme. We could go about it a couple different ways. We can create another custom field area, or you can actually go to the widgets area, and there's the global sidebar. If you wanted to create a new sidebar, you can do so. There are plugins available for that. I'm going to go the manual route and just create one our own way in the functions PHP file. There's already a there should be a register sidebar function here. We can create a new one but just by copying and pasting this. And what you'll want to do is change the name of it. So this will be footer. I'll just call it footer sidebar. I'll just add footer widgets here. Section class h2. Okay. So if all goes well, that should create this new little module here that's called footer. You can add footer widgets here. What we're going to add primarily is just basically text-driven stuff. This other stuff, I might just keep that hard-coded in the theme, or you can honestly put HTML into like a text widget here. It'll display the same. So I'm going to put 3 for now. One will be about us. And we'll add this content. Let's see, what was the strong authentic? Let's add that authentic. Now, most times you hand this off to a client, they're not going to know, probably not going to know much HTML, and that's fine. You can go about this differently and make a custom field for all this stuff and display it that way. That works just as well. I'm doing it this way just to show you. Probably, I don't know if you knew that you can create custom sidebars in this manner. It's just a nice little touch WordPress gives you out of the box. It would be cool if there was a WYSIWYG inside these. I don't know if it's a future feature of some sort, but just the basics at least, like a bold, underline, text, all that stuff. I'm actually going to add, and like I said, I wouldn't do this if you're handing this off to a client, but I'm just going to add this HTML at the bottom here. It's going to have all the same stuff. And then we'll add one more widget that's our location. Same with the text field. And we'll add the street address. Cool. And I think the social media stuff I'll just leave to generate statically, but we're actually calling the links via our admin, so it's all good. So with that done, we can go ahead and go this route. Okay, so this stuff's all static at this point. We need to display these widgets in such a manner. Let's see what happens if I just do footer widgets. Does anything come back? Nope. What did I call it? Functions, footer. I think it's just called footer sidebar. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so all this stuff's going to come back. Unfortunately, we'll have to style it accordingly. We'll get the data back. We just need to render it with styling, and then we'll be done. So let's take this stuff out that we don't really necessarily need. I'm going to keep this social media stuff for now. We need to get rid of the 2 divs here. And I'll render this out so it'll at least render inside here. Won't look near like what we want, but that's okay. Let's do the footer heading. We'll go into our footer. And we'll do footer there. I think these are just H2s. All right, let me double check that. Widget title, let's do that. Okay, so that. Why won't that work? Div class footer, footer inner. This is outside of footer. We need it in footer. And I'm gonna throw it back on the real server here. Stuff should update automatically. There we go. And then the column itself, we want it to be, what's the actual class? Width is this. So in our design, what's each widget area? Does it, it's got a class, I'm sure. Widget. What are the odds? Okay, so widget, we'll give it a width of 33%, and let's look at the other design again, double check the margin and everything that's going on. So we have padding left and right and a float. 4.5 for padding top, column. Okay, so if we do this, get rid of this. Let's see what happens. There we go. So already it's taking life. Let's see what else we got. It's actually pretty damn close. We need this to break. And I think we can honestly just do that inside the widget area. Footer, opening hours. Let's do like a BR. Kind of hacky, I know. Again, if you have a client who just does not know HTML, don't go this route. Don't expect them to know that. Definitely give them a different way to update this. Widgets are nice, but everything needs to be pre-configured so they don't have to style anything on their own or anything like that. So appears that we're pretty close. We need to do one more tweak on the address. Same thing here with the BR tag. It takes forever to update. There we go. And I think, is there, footer's got that, got that. We will need to adjust these styles going down because obviously we don't want it to appear that way. So let's do at media max width 767. Width will be 100%. Padding will leave float none. Cool. All right, well, the last thing I want to touch on is the fact that that's not centered. Wait. Actually it is, okay. I want to fix that real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna do this right. This should be 2 words. Cool. Publish. Close. Okay, so in our I think first video, I added this dynamic menu, and we have this issue with the social media links breaking to the next line. It is because there's a block level element dynamically generated, surrounding this UL in our code, because normally they display inline blocks. So I think what I'm going to do is grab this class and try to just kind of emulate the same thing that the other UL was doing. So I'm going to see if I can find that in this code. Social. So what was that menu called? Primary navigation menu. Okay. So here I'm going to display inline block and see if this does the trick. It does. Awesome. Let's see what it does without this though. I'm gonna... Okay, yeah. So we need to display block, I think, on a smaller screen. Media max width 767 pixels. I just go that by default. It's like an old school iPad kind of width. Yeah. So let me see if this works. Perfect. Awesome. So you guys, I think we are ready. We're set. That was a quick run through of going from an HTML template, which we have here, and translating it literally to WordPress. So we have all this functionality available to us. We can update text, we can update buttons, their links. The same goes for images. I don't have this pattern in the background updatable, but that's not the kind of point. But this background image is, these images are, this text is, this is a custom post type featuring different categories of dishes, and then each dish has its own corresponding custom field of price, and then we display these based on their category, and then we also order them in an ascending fashion. So a lot is going on, even though it looks pretty simple, but it's pretty neat how it all unfolded. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you maybe see how you could transcend from an HTML theme to WordPress if you're just getting into WordPress. If you have any questions, feel free to get at me. If you like these videos, I'd really love it if you literally liked it on YouTube, or maybe shared it on your own social media. That would be awesome. I'm just trying to help out and share the wealth. So until next time, look for future videos and stay classy.